Well, hey there, Leslie here. How are you? Been a while since I've gone live. Was playing around with some features on YouTube, experimenting, but wanted to do a live video for you today, Saturday. Have no idea what the actual date is. I'm losing track because of being at home and working. But wanted to stop in and talk about some paralegal reference materials. And I'm going to give you the web address for my website because I want you to go look at the latest blog post that's there called Paralegal Tips. But go to, while I'm thinking about it, go to paralegalcoffeetalk.com and you'll see that as the first blog post. But up above, and hi everybody who's here with me live, say hi if you have a mo. Um, Up at the top, you'll see some complimentary items, and I'll tell you what they are. Okay. One, and that's at the top of the website when you go to paralegalcoffeetalk.com. One is 19 alternative paralegal careers list. So remember the number 19, and when you go to my website, you'll see it up there. The other thing is a free chapter of my book, Legal Break-In, and then a goals journal, GOALS journal. But read that paralegal tips blog post there, okay? Today we're going to talk about some reference materials. Now, on the same website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com, that's my website, look for paralegal resources. And there's several things in there, but look for a book called Workers' Compensation for Paralegals. There's one this one's kind of pricey, but it is worth every penny, and you could always buy, excuse me, a used copy if you can find it a lot cheaper. So it's called Introduction to Paralegalism. Totally worth it, okay? Then the other thing is, they say you can give a man a fish, but it's better if you teach them how to fish. I want you to do your research on Google for things about areas of law you're interested in, but also in the keywords that you put in Google itself. Put in paralegal duties for, and let's say it's personal injury, for the personal injury law, paralegal duties for real estate law, that type of thing, okay? Excuse me. You will come up with all kinds of information, and you will become a very astute researcher. That Google is one of the places I do research, and I'm not saying I do research to find law, but I have. Okay, so become very familiar with looking, if you are not already, looking things up that you're not aware, like you're confused by. Of course, you can ask me, but use Google as your BFF and turn to that. Use YouTube in the same way. When you're using YouTube, this is another type of reference tool that you will teach yourself more than basic Microsoft Word skills by looking for Microsoft Word advanced skills on YouTube. You can look on Google too, but it would be easier to find that on YouTube with somebody teaching you. Very important. This is to up your game, because you can't slide by in the legal field and just know a little here, a little there of Microsoft Word. You have to be pretty darn good at it, and you want to get into the advanced features. So that I will not explain in great detail. I want you to use and hone your research skills, okay? Another thing that I personally have purchased on Amazon is something called bar charts. And on my website, look for bar charts, and you'll see that tab up at the top. And as I'm saying these things, write it down. Go get the bar charts for legal terminology on Amazon and go to my website and just click on the link. It's an affiliate link, but these things are, they're really, those particular items are very cheap. If I were looking, and I did this all the time, if I were looking for books that gave me like a play-by-play for a paralegal, well, the workers' compensation book is a very good one, co-authored by a paralegal. So I happen to know this paralegal, so that's why I recommend that book. There are many books out there, but you want to make sure that you look inside, look at the table of contents. Is this giving you what you really need to know about a particular field, whether it be criminal law or bankruptcy or, and there are hundreds of areas of law and many books. So I bought The Introduction to Paralegalism a long time ago. I had a little bit of extra money and I just decided to do it, and it was so worth it. But you can get used copies and go a lot cheaper. It's not going to be $10, that's for sure. But most of the other books are cheaper, like the workers' compensation law for paralegals. You want to find books like that when it's really directed at paralegals, because when you go into the field, you're not being hired on as an attorney. You're being hired on as a paralegal, a professional administrative person who has a lot of skill sets, and as a person who's new to the field, you will be adding more to what you already bring to the table. So those reference materials are super helpful. In tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk about email protocol and etiquette. So stay tuned for that one, okay? That is on the list of paralegal tips that I will be explaining in videos on here and on Facebook. The Facebook page is called Paralegal Coffee Talk, just like the website, okay? So, hey there, Vandana, how are you? Good to see you. So, while I'm on here, you can feel free to ask questions. And sometimes they don't show me all the comments, and that happens on Facebook a lot too. They don't roll the comments, they just stop, and then I see them later and answer them. On here, they don't show me the live comments on YouTube. As far as I know, they don't, but they'll show it if you comment later. So, or on any of the videos, they'll show me that. So if there's when I do these videos, these are directed at people who are in the United States. In other countries, paralegals perhaps work in a different manner. In Canada, that is definitely true. So I don't make videos that are tailor-made for Canada, but I make them for the US, and I don't really go into thanks for that question about COVID-19 changing a practice. It's really whether, you just don't have a choice. You have to work from home. And depending, and I don't go into where I work or like what type of law I work in, but to give privacy to my attorneys in that law firm. Hey there, I'm seeing who's popping on. Thank you for that question, though, Dana. What happened to a lot of paralegals, if the law firm was able to stay open, and mine is open. I mean, it's open technically, on virtual. Most attorneys don't want to work this way. They want their people in-house. Most attorneys don't do virtual. Some do, but most do not, because they are responsible for what you do, and you're under their umbrella, and their insurance companies are not really sold on the whole virtual thing. They're malpractice insurance. Okay, so there's a lot of limitations on what they can do, and how they can go off into a virtual world. But now it's like that's how they have to work. So, and I have to work. So no big deal for me. okay to do it at all. But for some people, it has been. For a lot of teachers, it's been difficult to transition into this techie world when, say, let's say they haven't been going and ever doing a live video or using Zoom or StreamYard to talk to their students. So attorneys are having to do that too. Um, does that open the door for people? It depends on how long this goes on. You know, for somebody who's not has zero experience, well, I teach how to break into the field, and whether it's going to be a virtual atmosphere, a virtual scenario for months and months, who knows? It's up in the air, right? This is the unknown right now, unfortunately. So will there be jobs? There'll be jobs. Legal's not going anywhere. The legal field is not going anywhere, just as the medical field is not going anywhere. So when you specialize, it can really serve you well, whether you specialize in legal or medical. And the areas of law you specialize in are important too. And so I will be doing a video shortly, probably over this weekend, but it's not on YouTube. It's going to be on a platform where I host my course, about the hot areas that I see for 2020 to 2021 to work in. Okay, so I'll announce it on here when I get that done and it's up and ready to go. Probably won't be till next week. So, but it'll be on, I always announce things here or on Facebook. Okay, so don't think that I have some students that they thought their dreams were dashed because of what has occurred, but quite the opposite can be true. I don't guarantee that, but when you think about the number of people that are experiencing things because of COVID, and it's like a house of cards. I've been through that personally, where a restaurant we started, we were struggling. We were a new restaurant. Restaurants always struggle in the beginning. And then my husband lost his job. And I'm telling you, it was a house of cards. So I will go into that in the video. And my husband was laid off, as were, and I don't mean they were going to hire him back. It was more, he was let go, as were about 15 other people, to make, how can I put this? To make a profit and loss statement for that division he worked for look better because they wanted to sell it. Yeah, that's after 28 years with one company. So there was no loyalty. It was all about financial issues. So it was a house of cards. So what's going on now with no paychecks and all that, that was our nightmare back in 95. And we had a restaurant for a very short amount of time. But the heartache of that, I'm very familiar with. How scary it is, very familiar with. But does that mean that there won't be jobs open, or it's a done deal, the legal job, and you've wasted time investigating it? No, you're not wasting time. And you've got to take an attitude as you know, that you won't be denied and you're going to do this. There's a mindset shift that always has to happen when you're going after something, that it doesn't matter who didn't support you in the past and all the negativity from the past or the present. You've got to focus, and there are times when we can't because of how heavy things are, but then you got to shift back and get focused again. That's why I do all these videos for you guys, to keep your focus, to help you determine what area of law you want to be in, and not just put yourself in a box that it can only be this area of law. You got to go and open your mind to other areas that I'm going to talk about in that video. There'll probably be 3 areas right now that I will definitely cover. I don't know if I'll add any more. I keep it tight because there are reasons why these are going to be hot. Okay, and I believe, it's my opinion only, that jobs will be open because just like I'm sitting here right now doing this video and I'm looking at a grocery store, and I was raised in the grocery business and my grandparents' little Italian deli, but my father was a supermarket manager for 30 years. And then at age 46, he was let go. After about 30 years, 29 years or so with the company, they are in desperate need of workers in a grocery store right now, all across the US, because, will that last forever? It depends on how long this goes on. In a specialty field like law, that's the reason I went into it. I looked at doing medical. I didn't want to handle insurance problems or investigate why somebody, something wasn't paid and all that. I didn't want to do that. I preferred legal, and I had family members in legal. You have to ask yourself, why do I want to go into it? What is your why? You're not going to make $50,000 when you start. You have to put some time in to hone your skills. Even after, you could have a high school diploma, not have any degree past that, and get in this field. You have to have office skills. This is not standing around talking about law all day. This is professional administrative work, and somebody said to me, well, isn't that a glorified secretary? Let me tell you, legal secretaries are worth their weight in gold. And you should be so lucky to have a legal secretary who has a lot of experience show you some things. I definitely had that even with experience, but always remember this. There is no bona fide training at the law firm. You have to get all that. And I don't mean school necessarily, right? I don't mean that. If you're in the middle of school, that's great. If you're going for a certificate, great. If you have a high school diploma, great. Will the high school diploma not open doors for you? What will open doors is when you learn how to help the attorney every day, and including when you start. And that's what people are afraid of. So when you invest in yourself, even in used books, and look for that on Amazon, get my free chapter of Legal Break-In and read that. I put in, it's not a fluff chapter. That's a good chapter. So get that on the website, paralegalcoffeetalk.com, and study that. There's really good stuff in that book, but I recommend other books as well for a reason. They're on my shelf and I've looked through them. I abide and I believe in them. They've helped me in my everyday job. But when you step foot in the law firm, they don't have an office that they call paralegal school. You have to learn this because they do not have time to teach you. Somebody might be there to answer a question here or there, but they're not going to be able to go, well, this is how you do this. And all those entry-level steps, no. That's why I started the course that I did, which will launch later this month. So watch a lot of the videos on this channel, okay? And come be part, if you want to, of the Paralegal Coffee Talk page on Facebook, or go to the Paralegal Break-In group if you are not in the legal field right now in any capacity. If you are looking at this and you are thinking strongly about it, then answer the questions when you ask to join my group. It's a free group, Paralegal Break-In, but not if you're working in the legal field. That wouldn't be fruitful. That's only for people who don't have any experience or very little knowledge about the legal field. I mean, it's okay if you're a paralegal student or you're going for your certificate, or you have a high school diploma, or you have degrees in other things, don't think that degrees are the be all end all. It's how you can help that attorney from the day you start. And you can learn that before you start. You will learn much more on the job just by doing things and working through issues, but you should know a lot before you start the job. I've had people that when I tell them that I teach them a lot of things about the legal field, including trial work, including the things I use to keep me on track so that I don't drop dates for things, and I talk about something that I use. I use something called 3 different things. I call it the triad, um, to keep me on the straight and narrow so I don't let my attorney down. And that works. It's worked for 30 years for me. And I think it was when I was in maybe my second year of being a legal assistant that I saw that this was needed, because so many law firms are, so many, not all, but so many are chaotic because they don't use systems, and you have to. So learning takes a little bit of investment. If that means you have to go to your library and online and look up books about certain areas of law, but they're geared toward paralegals. I have no idea what your library carries. They're all different. But our library locally here will let us go pick up curbside, so that everybody's changing how they do things right now, right? So just took my dog to the vet, brought him outside. The vet tech came out with the mask on, handed the dog off, and then they called us, and we did it that way to talk about, he started, unfortunately, my 11-year-old Basset Hound started having seizures. So just in the last week and a half. So needed to have him seen. Things are changing, right? Law firms are having to change right now. How long that will go on, I have no idea. Attorneys historically do not want to work where the people are off-site. They really don't like that. And it's funny, it could work, but they have to abide by what their insurance companies say too. That's all right, Wi-Fi's trying to cut out. If you have any questions whatsoever afterwards, come back on this video and you can comment below, okay? Totally open to questions or worries or concerns that you have. But go grab those items on my website. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. If you're over there, you'll see me under Leslie Williams Paralegal. You can find me there. You'll find me easily there. What else can I tell you? Paralegalcoffeetalk.com is the website. Go over there and get the 19 alternative paralegal careers list, the free chapter of my book, Legal Break-In, and the goals journal if you want that, and read the latest blog post for paralegal tips. Okay, that will come up, and you can't miss it. Okay, all right, so thank you for hanging out with me. Have a great Saturday. Stay healthy, be well. Let me show you what I'm carrying around with me. My mask. Went to Chick-fil-A and had my food brought out curbside and had this baby on, and I'm really, other than doing that, I'm staying home. So stay well. Okay, we're going to beat this thing, and I'm rooting for you. And so if I can help you in any way, ask questions, and come join the free group, Paralegal Break-In, and I'll see you over there. But answer the questions that I ask, okay? All right, have a great one. Thanks for hanging with me, and I'll talk to you in tomorrow's video. Bye.